thank you and John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, because if it wasn't for you and many others making these films, there would be no Midnight Madness program.
Yeah, far out. Exactly.
I usually welcome people to Midnight Madness, but you are Midnight Madness.
I like that. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, it's Robert Mitchell, and I'm here at the 2019 Toronto International Film Festival, and I'm here tonight at the Midnight Madness premiere for the film The Vast of Night.
I'm playing Everett in The Vast of Night, and what I respond to is just the depth of character. The dialogue is so alive, it's so different from any other script that I've ever read. You just can't really put it down. Normally when you're reading a script, you have to imagine music, cuts, and everything. It just reads like it was coming out of my mouth already.
I play Faye, and she's a switchboard operator in high school. And to prepare for the role, there's a lot of really interesting content on YouTube about like switchboard operators, which was a job mostly performed by females in the 50s. And just what I did was they actually moved a switchboard into my hotel room so I could practice getting the like flick of the wrist motion in which they like grab the like cords and plug them into the different like jacks. Because you could tell when you like watch the footage, they've been like doing this day in, day out for like years because it's their job. And so I didn't want to look like some kind of amateur, and so I did a lot of research basically on how the switchboard works and exactly I think what exactly I do in the film for the long unbroken take is accurate for what switchboard technology was, and I made sure that I would look like I've been doing it day in, day out for years and years.
When you read the script, what did you like about it?
It was just a lot of mystery in it, you know, a lot of things that would lead the reader to actually engage in intellectual thought as far as what was going to happen, you know, everything. So that was just great. It was really written out really well. And he's got another film that I'm in. It's called Rivals of Amaziah King, and he did a great job on that as well. I'll be playing Amaziah King in that particular film.
Hey Adam, welcome to Midnight Madness.
Hello, it's good to be here. Arg! Anybody that likes production design, just know you get the best director with a great vision, and the job is easy. And that's exactly what The Vast of Night was. I mean, it was, you know, Andrew had created a script in a world that was really easy to dive into, and we both shared that vision, and it was really fun. It was challenging at times. We put down sand on the main street there, and that was a lot of work on the size of movie that we are, but you know, for the most part, it was just fun. Did you do some sort of preparation to play the character?
Yeah, he's a 1950s radio DJ, and so on YouTube there's just like such a wealth of knowledge, and all these guys have clips of their voices of, you know, basically they invented characters. My guys, Everett the Maverick, Sloan, and they all had these sort of caricatures, and they performed them, and so I definitely stole things from them.
You're working on this set. Andrew shoots in a really fascinating way. What was that like? What was that experience to be on this set with him as an actor?
As an actor, it's a dream, honestly, because the way he works is like, you know, unorthodox, but for actors, it's actually like the most prepared and heard I've ever felt on a set. He spent a lot of time like rehearsing with us, running lines over and over, making sure that the chemistry between Jake and I was like palpable on screen. I think it is. And so just a lot of prep went into like before we ever shot anything. There was just all kinds of prep that we did, which made me feel so prepared, and it actually, I think, made the shoot days run smoother, honestly.
Andrew is one of the type of directors that you trust, because you know he really has a great picture of what he wants to see. And even though, he encourages you to, put your input into it, he still has that picture where he wants to get you where he wants you to go. And it's great. He's really visual. And I've noticed that with the Rivals of Amaziah King as well. he'll let you be creative, and he'll tell you whether he likes it or not. But sometimes he'll put it in, sometimes he won't. But he's a very, very creative person.
As we were talking, and I mentioned, this film Vast really just far exceeds its limitations. Can you relate maybe a story about some challenge you guys had to overcome?
Well, I mean, I think every movie has its own challenges. I think that from a design standpoint, the gravel in this downtown area, we had a paved street, and I didn't like that it had painted stripes at angle, and I had told Andrew I just can't accept that, and he was like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. So I'd gone out, I'd gotten a gravel company, and they delivered the gravel, but having never dealt with gravel before, I didn't realize that they weren't going to spread it, and we didn't have the proper equipment to do that. And so in a very short time, me and all of the crew had to push this stuff out to cover that entire street, and it was a lot of labor, and luckily we have a lot of passionate people involved, and we do it. Then we're done shooting the movie, and things got to be pulled up, and luckily the small town's police chief, Chief Bentley, said, well, you know what, we'll keep it for this thing that we do called Pioneer Days. Nice. So they kept the gravel, and then they picked it up after we left, and those are the kind of that was a happy accident, that this guy was willing to do that, and that it served the community. Otherwise, we would have been up the creek.
I've been reading that, Andrew's film is unique, and he shoots it in a really cool way. What was it like to be on set and work with Andrew as a collaborator?
Andrew is a genius, and he's his notes as an actor are always helpful. You never feel impeded on. There's always something that is about keeping it real, and that's this whole thing is treating this movie, which is about sci-fi and thrill and things that often in movies get all built up, and he wants it to treat very realistically, and it's really exciting to be with someone who wants to just find the truth of it.
What kind of journey do you think the audience will be on tonight?
They'll be engaged if they listen. This film causes you to listen to details, and it's just a mystery, and you're trying to figure out everything that's going on. So it'll be a journey, but you're going to have to listen, and you're going to have to use all of your senses to be able to get the best picture, the best possible enjoyment out of the film.
And I feel like as an actor, it must be a really freeing experience to be able to, find that truth and create something that's real, even though it is a fictional sci-fi.
Yeah, and to find the truth of a really extravagant character, like this guy who thinks he's the coolest guy in town. He talks like he knows every word that's ever been invented. He thinks every girl who ever walked the face of the earth loves him. And to treat that guy like a real person is really fun.
Do you have a favorite memory of making this picture with everybody?
Yeah, there's so many that come to mind, so it's hard to filter them down into one sort of memory that I could tell you about. But yeah, there was a moment when I was I shoot this big scene at the switchboard, and I have all kinds of technical stuff to do and all kinds of lines to memorize, and there's a bunch of different people talking to me, and I'm supposed to be responding, and there's one where Jake is talking to me on the phone, and during shooting a microphone fell on him. It fell on top of him, and I didn't I remember registering that, but I was I can't ruin this take. We're already 7 minutes in, so I was just kind of all right, I'm just gonna have to blow through, and so I just kind of ignored it, and I was hope he's all right. And he was, newsflash, but...
That brings me to my next and last question is, this film was shot in Texas. You worked on Sparrow Creek, shot in Texas. There's another new wave, I feel of Texas filmmaking. Can you talk about making pictures in Texas?
Man, Texas is known for pioneers, for people that go out and against all odds make something great happen, and I don't think it's any different in film. In FWD, as I call it, Fort Worth, Dallas area, we've got these incredible people that are there that are making films right there. Augustine Frizzell and David Lowery and Andrew Patterson and I and Melissa Kirkendall, and there's so many folks coming out of there. And then we've got people coming in from LA to have some of that same energy, that passion on their teams, because it doesn't matter if you're a PA or you're a grip or you're a director. In Texas, everybody has a shared passion, and you're putting in the time and the effort beyond the paycheck to try to realize the dream of the director. And you could see that on Standoff at Sparrow Creek, or Joe Begos' upcoming film VFW, or The Vasta Night, you know, or David Lowery's Ghost Story. You know, you just got a lot of people that rally around a story, and so yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of great directors being really well supported by Texas crews and cast. So yeah, hopefully it continues.
What kind of cinematic journey you think the audience is going to go on tonight?
I think it's. I've thought about this a lot. This may sound weird. I think it's from cynicism to wonder, I think, is the journey of the movie.